Hi, so I am back with another VR. So hashtag let's go shopping, a VR to Mystic Man. This has 8 prompts and let's go ahead and jump in. So prompt number 1, the bakery, a deck that is warm, cozy, and familiar. So I used all Oracle decks for this one because it's like all the VRs are using so many tarots, so I decided to use all oracles for this tag, and I chose Into the Lonely Woods for my bakery deck, a deck that is warm, cozy, and familiar. And this deck is just, what can I say? I use this one quite often, especially on those days where you need a hug, or it's a deck I just absolutely love to look through. It's so beautiful. The littlest, the littlest blessings. They're such large cards. They look so nice sitting on the altar. Here's the backs of them. Love forgives distance. Hope is like a hummingbird, and they are so cute. I mean, come on. A time to share. Even he's cute. Plate to the wanderer. Your little island. The communion of tender souls. Oh, my dog. Someone must be at the door. Your inner light will guide you. When all seems ended. And just look at this beautiful, beautiful artwork. The sadness of letting go. A time for healing. And is it lonelier at night? I think that nighttime is the most coziest. So this is my warm, cozy, and familiar deck. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. All right, let's put it away. And again, that was Into the Lonely Woods. Prompt number 2, Candy Shop, a deck that has bright colors, is sweet and fun. What other than the Chocolate Lovers message cards? Sorry about that. I had to pause and put a sweater on. I'm freezing. So, the Chocolate Lovers message card for prompt number 2, the Candy Shop, a deck that has bright colors and is sweet and fun. And this definitely is sweet, fun, and chocolatey. So with this one, you get your chocolate a keyword and, or no, and another keyword, and then your little meaning or message is on the back. Chocolate fountain, abundance. I used to use these so much, and when I was going through the shelves to find the cards for this tag, it was so fun revisiting. It's been so fun revisiting my decks when doing these tags. So now I'm on the lookout for tags, but I've only got like a day or so to get any done while we're home, because we'll be leaving for a week for the hospital for in treatment on the 10th. So I've been enjoying catching up on YouTube and keeping my mind occupied while still going insane, but I'm not sure if these are still out there. I know they went out of print at one time. They were much smaller, and I had that version, and I moved them on, and then I wanted the deck back, and they were no longer in print. But then a while later, this one came out, and they're larger, so that was nice. I went through this phase a couple years ago where I got rid of like most of my decks, and I think I need to go through it again. I need to get rid of the decks that I don't use. Storing them isn't an option. I already tried, and I felt bad for the decks. I felt bad for putting them in bins. So I made more room with shelving so that they could all fit on shelves. So, but that's not working, because I look at all these decks, and as much as I once loved them or wanted to love them, they're just taking up space. These are awesome, awesome, awesome though, and you get a little affirmation down on the bottom. How many of you are singing that song, Milkshake? My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. I do it almost every day when I tell my hubby, grab me a milkshake from Stewart's on your way. Coffee beans, chocolate coated coffee beans, stimulation. So this is my deck that has bright colors, is sweet, and is fun. It's definitely fun, and clients love this. I used to use it on a lot of my pick a card readings, like my tarot and tea. I would use a tarot deck, my tea leaf cards, and my chocolate, and they were very, very much loved by the collective. All right. Oops, I got them mixed up here. Okay. All right, so the Chocolate Lovers message cards, and I love that they came out with a bigger version, because the other one, by now, I would never have been able to even see the writing. Prompt number 3 is the Florist. We're going to visit the Florist, a green or herbal deck. I had to do one of my like top 5 favorite oracle decks, and just so happens to be the Green Witches oracle deck. This is pretty familiar to everyone. It's been pretty popular. Here are the gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous backs. You can see mine are used. I do use them. Not used as in bought used, but I use them. They are loved. These will be going on my trip this week. I'm coming prepared. last time we had no option and ended up spending 14 days away from home. So it was hard. Now we're all prepared and things are hopefully going to go more smoothly. Joelle will be getting her second round of chemo, and that's 5 different chemos pumping through her little veins for 7 days straight, 24 hours a day. Her hair has started to fall out in the clumps, so she's almost lost all of her hair. My heart is breaking for her. But she's in good spirits, and then she's, you know, then she's mad as hell, and I don't blame her. We let her, you know, feel however you need to feel. This. Look at this little guy. But yes, I really, really love this deck. I think many of us do. All right, so the Green Witches Oracle, and that was for the Florist, a green or herbal deck. I thought that fit perfectly. All right, prompt. Oh my gosh, I did that upside down. I can't. My OCD will go crazy. Prompt number 4 is the pet shop. An animal or nature-based deck, and I thought about this, and I just absolutely had to go with this one. It's one of my newer oracles, and it is the Tapping Solutions Daily Guidance deck. I absolutely love this deck. I do have a full walkthrough on my channel here, but it's it has to do with the tapping solution, but you don't have to use the deck as such. You can use it however you want. There's a big, you get a lot in here if you're using it just as an oracle. And you can do that, or you can use it as both, or you can use it just for tapping. But for the sake of this video, we've got nature and animals here. Look at how beautiful. And just so you can see, if you know the tapping meridians, these are your tapping chants. I do tapping often. And this is a newer release. Look at the beautiful mountains. And there, of course, you get these beautiful little affirmations. One of my favorites. Most of the cards in this deck are, I'm infatuated with this deck. It's just, when I first had seen this on, I think I spotted it on Hay House, but then I went over to Amazon and I found it and I was like, wow. I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't get it in my cart fast enough, and I was like, I kept tracking it and tracking it, could not wait for this deck. Oh my gosh. So that is my animal or nature-based deck. And this one's got the best of both worlds because it's, look at that. It's so beautiful. I would highly recommend this deck if you are into the tapping or just for the oracle. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And this ring is driving me crazy. It's got to come off. Okay, so prompt number 5, antique shop, a deck that you've had the most history with, good or bad. And that would be the Psychic Tarot. I actually missed this deck. This tag has reminded me of my love for this deck. I knew Rider-Waite, and I dabbled with Rider-Waite, but back in those days, I really didn't love Rider-Waite. When this deck came around, this is when I really learned tarot. So I guess you could say this was my first love. This deck, even though it's considered an oracle deck, like, it's pretty much a tarot deck too, because the meanings in the book and such are, like, this is the Emperor, card number 4, the Emperor. It's just a deck without court cards. And for me, when I first began reading, I could not stand court cards. So this was the perfect deck. This is the Death card. And wow, and you can see, you can see how beat up it is. I have 2 other copies that are still brand new with the gilding. You can't, this did have the gilding at one time, but I've used it so much that it's gone, it's rubbed off. So I had to get those 2 extra copies on, I believe it was eBay. Really good prices though. But if you were to purchase this deck now, like off Amazon or Hay House, you're not going to get the beautiful edges. Hold on one second. Okay, so this is how it will look in new condition. You get these edges, and it's, you know, much more, it's much newer, but I still find myself always coming back to my used one, the one that, you know, started it all. So like this is the Magician, this is the Hierophant, this is the Ace of Wands. But this was the deck for me that we have the most history, and I would have to, and the prompt says for good or bad, and I would have to say good because this is where it all started for me. And just looking at these, I'm like, I want to take it out and just read with it. I love it. So it is still available, but not with the gilded edges. And it's just not the same. Because when this copy started getting very tattered and torn, by then they were no longer doing the edges on it. So I had purchased a copy off Amazon, and it didn't have the gilding, and I returned it because I couldn't connect with it or anything. It just wasn't the same. This is the Wheel of Fortune. But I love this deck. It is I'll never forget it, put it that way. This is the one that started it all for me. I wish I could still love on it, and I would if there weren't so many other tarot decks in the world, but it's very dirty. It's not dirty because I never use dirty hands. It's just so worn. It's so loved. and I would still continue to use it, this copy over a brand new copy. Very much love it. The Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. All right, the next one is Art Gallery, a deck with your favorite art style. I don't really have a favorite art style, but I chose the Lantern Oracle because I just absolutely love the art in this deck. So again, I don't have a favorite art style. I have many, so I would never be able to pick just one, but this one called to me because of the artwork is just so beautiful. So I guess you could kind of say I changed up the prompt a little bit to a deck that I love the artwork in. And it is beautiful for sure. Gorgeous deck altogether. Trusting tricksters. The trickster's only power is your trust. You are always free to withdraw it. Look at this. Couldn't get a focus because it's trying to focus on the other cards. So that is the Lantern Oracle and guidebook, and that is for my art gallery, a deck with your favorite art style. Next is the Hair Salon, a deck that wants you to be your best self / most beautiful. So I have to say, Healers of the Earth Oracle. I am so blessed to have this deck. It is still out there, but she's last I knew she was having trouble shipping to the US. So I've had this one for a long time. You can't get this book and everything anymore. They do have a newer version, she does, and we tried because I bought all of her decks. This is by Mandy Peterson, and I wanted the matte version, and there's a couple extra cards or newer cards in the matte version, but unfortunately, ooh, and I just almost bent that card, but unfortunately for some reason, and this is still in really good shape. I haven't used it a whole lot. I guess you could say I use this deck sparingly, but I absolutely love this deck. I treasure this deck. This is the glossy version, but this deck let you know. It tells it like it is. You can either go by here and your intuition or the image. You can check in the guidebook. I mean, it's, oh my goodness. I love it. And I guess I'm gonna stay happy with my little glossy version, but they have she has a matte version that's borderless, and it has a couple extra cards or new cards, and I did order it, and we noticed that shipping was taking just way too long, so it ended up going through all the BS that is going on. So she was like, she told me she had to stop shipping to the US for the time being, which reminds me, I do have to check back in with her because this was a month or so ago. But beautiful, beautiful deck. And I love it because it has so many cards. The karmic scales, justice, atonement, karmic balance. I've used this for myself. A couple of times I've put a card on my Facebook page, but Facebook took it down. I've never had them do that with any other card deck before, and this was in the past, but I was like, okay, I guess it's too much for you, Facebook. Pick up your sword, take a stand, be heard, support a cause. I'm not sure if this version's still available or not, but I know that the book isn't. Well, I can almost guarantee the book isn't, not from what I know. Because when her and I were talking about the matte version, I think we brought up the book, and I said, well, I don't need the book because I already have the book. So it wouldn't matter to me. So that is my choice for, look at that, 1111. That is my choice for the Salon. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah, I just want to shuffle and flip through them. But yeah, I've got the big box version and I'm so happy, so very blessed. I would never ever give this up. Nope, nope, nope. 73 cards it has. All right, and the last prompt is a deck you are going to play with / use next. So again, I've been revisiting my shelves, and this has come up. The Earth, Moon, and Shadow Oracle. Another deck I'm so very blessed to have. I think they just did another run. I didn't get in on it because I've had issues with the company personally. So, but here is my certificate of authenticity. But at any rate, this deck goes with, I mean, I haven't even broken the binding on this book. This deck goes so good with my Bone Stone Tarot that it's unbelievable, and it's packed. I don't have it out, my Bone Stone, because it's going with me, but oh my gosh, these two go together so well. But yes, this is a deck I'm going to start. I think obviously I'm going to use it with my Bone Stone, but I think maybe once a week I'll pull a card from here, because this is a pretty, you got to be ready for this deck, I would say. It's it don't F around, put it that way. But man, it goes so good. So good. I've seen this around, actually, just yesterday I seen on their Etsy shop, Ruin Vervain, I think it is. They have it for sale for $30 without the guidebook, or without the box. So, and it was only for 30 bucks. So I thought that was a pretty good steal. But for anybody out there who wants the deck, who never got it, It just doesn't have the box. I think it has the guidebook and everything. I'm not sure. But I scrolled past it. So that is the Earth, Moon, and Shadow Oracle. Again, another deck I'm so, so blessed to have. Thunder and Lightning, Painful Realization, Inner Conflict. It's very much a darker deck, I would say. I don't really go with shadow work. I don't do shadow work. It's just not my thing. A lot of folks will say you have to do that. People have to do shadow. No, you don't. My shadows are my shadows, and they will follow me. You know what I mean? I've accepted my shadows. I'm fine with my shadows. My shadows are just fine. They're mine. But anyways, yeah, I don't do shadow work. But everybody's always like, oh, shadow work, shadow work, shadow work. I mean, hey, if that's your thing, do you, boo. But it's not mine. But love this deck. Mischief and Mayhem. Freedom, Surrender, Abandon. And there's the backs. Lovely, lovely deck. I didn't even think of it not to post decks that aren't in print anymore. So I do apologize for that. I was just so happy when I was going through and pulling them off. So I hope you enjoyed this tag, and until the next one, take care.